Hey, hi, I'm Kevin Ozar, and I'm in day 4 of quarantine. So, when I heard this was going to happen, I thought I would start creating some content. So, I am going to try to post every day and see if I can contribute, see if I can make something meaningful. So, who am I? I'm a teacher in Metro Detroit, 23 years in education, grades 6 through 12, as well as a lot of adult and teacher ed. So, I know a little bit about teaching, which means pretty much now all of us are colleagues. Who's this video for? Well, it's for parents who might need a little bit of help or permission while they take over the job of teaching as well as maintaining their own job. Maybe this is for students. This is just for anybody. Honestly, maybe it's just for me, because one of the things I'm going to suggest today is that I think we should all start a project. I have been thinking a lot about Chance the Rapper. His first mixtape, 10 Day, came when he was suspended for 10 days. He is now I believe, Grammy Award winning, at least Grammy nominated, world icon who sells Snickers bars to us and does commercials for video services. So that all came because he had 10 days. He had a chance to create something. Unverified in the internet, just like everything else these days, is the fact that apparently Shakespeare wrote King Lear, one of my personal favorites, while on quarantine from another plague. So I wanted to try and make this channel. I'll mess around with editing, I'll mess around with lighting, maybe I'll change up the set. But this is my project. So I guess the first thing I'd say is have a project and be really transparent with it. Tell your kids or your partner or somebody, hey, I'm working on this. This is the thing I'm gonna do. That closet you wanted to clean out, any of those things you've been thinking of. It feels like we always say, I wish I had more time. Be careful what you wish for. We just all got a whole lot more time. So with that time, I want to offer you maybe some suggestions on how to manage what we're calling distance learning, remote learning, homeschooling. It's day 2, it's a Tuesday, it's St. Patrick's Day, so I got my green on. And I'm noticing on Twitter and on social media, a lot of people who are suddenly realizing teaching is hard. So here's my 23-year veteran, just mine, not speaking for anybody else, opinion on this right now. We're all trying to figure this out, parents and educators alike. But one of the things I think we might be getting wrong is we're all trying to figure out how to make school happen as if nothing has happened. That might not be the right tact. If you look at most educational research, it'll tell you that relationships come first, and then a teacher can teach pretty much anything. So I'm going to encourage you, parents and guardians and relatives, people who are taking care of small learners, to work on your relationships first. Just get to know your school space, get to know your learner. I don't know that math facts and grammar matter right now because we kind of have a pandemic. So go easy. I also think that just setting up your house in a way that's going to be conducive for education really helps out. If you've ever been lucky enough to be in a master teacher's classroom, you'll notice the kids come in and they just get to work. They know what to do in that space because they learned how to do it. There's this really interesting line of science, not brand of science. There's only one science. It's called science, and it's when the facts are true and proven. But there's an area of science called neuro-linguistic programming, and it basically means that we can train our brains and bodies to act certain ways based on where we are and how spaces are laid out. So what I might think is a great way to start this week or restart your school is to make sure you set aside some spaces that are for learning. A corner, a specific desk, a place that the kid is going to do school. So if your living room is where you watch TV, that's not a great place to try and force them to work on geometry. If your kitchen table is always going to be where you're doing meal prep, then that's not a great place for them to work. So try and find a spot that's going to be designated for school. So when a kid enters that space, they're like, oh, I'm doing school now, or I'm doing cognitive work. So that's one thing. Just set up your house in a way that is going to make sense. The other thing that I think I would offer as a hint to you today is I've been on Pinterest, which is a great website, and I've seen a lot of these schedules, and they've got colors and like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's really cool. And I think a schedule is going to be really important for almost every learner, including yourself. What is our time where I have to take a conference call? What is the time where you need to be on your own? And many educators are setting up office hours and distance learning opportunities that have are time sensitive. That's awesome. I would really encourage you to have a conversation with your learner about what time makes sense for them. I am the parent of a very lucky parent of a 6th grader to be and a 9th grader to be. So 5th and 8th. And they're on really different schedules. It's no secret that the American education system is really not lined up with our modern brain science about when people are good at learning. If you've got a tween or a teen at home, why not bring them in to help make that schedule and start at 11 and go till 5, because that's probably when school should be going anyways. And if you've got a little friend and they are going to be up at 7, then let's go. Let's start at 7 and then build in that nap time or build in that extra recess time. So I think sitting down with your learner and having a conversation about when's going to work for you and where do you want to work and restructuring your house, because this is uncharted. And so try it. And if it doesn't work, you can try something else. You're not cemented into it. You can learn and adjust and adapt, just like we're all doing in these uncertain times. One of the faults of modern education, from my perspective, is that we haven't learned and adapted enough, and we still look very much like the schoolhouse model of the 1800s. We don't have to do this now. We can have the house school model of 2020, and that could be dynamic, and I'd encourage you to bring your learner into it. So those are my 2 tips for you today, is to have a schedule, but talk to your kids and make sure that schedule works for you and works for them, and it's something you're not going to fight over. You don't need another reason to fight or bicker or just have some stress, because we have all this time. And as we often lament at parent-teacher conferences, parents say to me, like, you see my kid more than I do. And I wish it wasn't that way. And I feel that way about my own kids. So here we have it. We've got all of this time. So set up a space, potentially set up a schedule, and go easy. Ease into this. We really don't know. And I don't know that the content is the most important thing right now. So I'm going to try and post this every day to this YouTube channel. You can subscribe. I think there's a button somewhere down here, or maybe it's over here. And you can also post in the comments questions or things you might want me to talk about or things I should change that you'd like, because this is my project. This is what I'm going to do with this time. This is what I'm going to make. So I guess this makes it kind of my mixtape. I don't know if that makes this really cool or really dorky, or maybe both. That's kind of my brand. Thanks for watching. Share with anyone who thinks it might help, and help me create this. Day 4. See what happens next. Bye.